Alright guys, how's it going? This is Aiden back again with another video. I'm going to be showing you guys today how to rotate some points, import these points, and rotate them, and um, that way you can draft them where they're supposed to go. I got two drawings here, so a little bit of background is I got a drawing. So usually I use GPS with everything, usually as much as I can. So we set up a base station over here somewhere. There's our base station. Uh, did a lot of this. This is a project in Marin. Did a lot of GPS work. Found a bunch of mons, iron pipes, etc. And I'll usually collect most of my data initially on grid. And this video is I'm not going to talk about the difference between grid, true north, and geodetic north, and but I will just say that when you use GPS, your base of bearing that you use is going to be projected on the grid. Whatever projection you use is going to be projected north, and it's going to be really true north, as identical almost as a sunshot or a star shot, um, and as opposed to map bearings where they used maybe a compass or some other method. Again, I'm not going to go into details of that, but what I do is when I do the final product, the topos, and when I'm doing a record of survey, I like to use a base of bearing that's common to a map already. And let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can find this map here that I'm talking. So I can show you what I'm talking about. I'll drag it into view here. There it is. All right. I think you guys can see that. So for example, like if I find these two pipes, I'm gonna hold this bearing 5917, and that way you, the reader can associate how you're changing the bearings if you are changing them. If I hold these and I don't find this pipe, I'm just going I'm just gonna hold bearing and distance, record bearing and distance here, hold record here, and then if I found this one, just go to this one here, and I may change this bearing, right? I may just go uh, uh, calc, hold this interior angle, calc it, hold this interior. I may change this interior angle to go hold here and then go straight to this found pipe, or whatever method I choose for based on the best available evidence. I'll change it so the reader, usually the county surveyor, especially when we record these maps, you got to have a base of bearing, and you got to have one that's between two found mons. And technically, you don't really need to use the same one, but I really like to do it so I can associate. It helps my mind associate quickly how much I'm changing these by just looking at these bearings and distances. So exit out here. So I've done that here. I've made my boundary resolution, and I have kind of resolved it. You can see all my notes here. This is how I like to do it so I don't forget when I do my record of survey. This is a topo that I'm going to get out, and I have these resolved boundary locations here. And so I have this boundary resolved location. Now this is a big site, right? This is a big site, and so when I do my boundary resolution here, you know, uh, I encountered some more evidence, and I realized that what, there's still some things that I'm unsure of. I want to do a double check, and actually today we went and we found this corner here. We found this. We found a pipe over here from that old map I just showed you. Um, what else would be fine? I think we found this one here, and I found this point over here. Found this point here. So um, now I decided to do it on my original coordinates, my original grid coordinates. I did that so I can just fire up the GPS on this one base point here and just start going with my rover. Because this is a processed GPS point. It has a known location, and I could broadcast from this, and I can just start collecting data. I can start collecting data, and all my project is rotated correctly based on these original grid coordinates. Now, so I have all this data on grid. It's rotated. Usually, it's about 1 degree because of the projection I was talking about. But I really want to. I like to do all my resolving in this assumed. You see my coordinates here. I do 5,000, 10,000 plus roughly. I like to do all my resolution on map bearings. I call it. Do it on map bearings so I can really look at these bearings, and so I can calc stuff by holding bearings, and just I like to look at it like this. My points are all rotated per per these for that record map. Um, and so I'm going to show you guys now how I would do that. So I have this data I collected on grid, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import these points. Okay, so I'm going to import these points. I exported these points from my TSC5 data collector. Like I said, it was on grid. So here we go. PNEZD. I'm going to add these points. And I want to add it. You want to add points to point group. Okay, and this I'm going to call this additional points. Something that you can identify. Okay, boom. So put all those on a specific point group. That way I can just select these and I can copy these over. Okay, I'm gonna just Control C. I'm gonna copy these. Okay, and so this is one way. You can Control C it, and then you can Control V it over here, and you're gonna overwrite some stuff because they're the same point numbers. Um, so I actually not gonna do it that way right now. Oops, apply to all. I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna show you a different way. So here's what I'm gonna do. Since they're gonna be really close, just gonna be like a degree shifted. So I'm gonna import these points. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, because if I do it the way I'm telling you, if I import them in here, they're gonna come in way over here. So I'm gonna do what I just did. Yeah, so again, that's another way you could do it. You could import them in here and put them on a different, you can put them on a point group, but you'll have like stuff way over here, and you can just copy it and drag it. So this is kind of the same thing. This way is a little better, the Control C and Control V. That way I can copy it in and I can put it right here. So that's what we're going to do. Sorry for the confusion. So we'll just say use next point number for now, because we don't want to overwrite some stuff. And apply to all. Okay, now I'm going to select all those. I'm going to hit G for group it. Okay, now I have some common points here. And usually you want to use the farthest points. So I'm going to take that point here and line it up with this guy. This is 58, 56. I got to remember to delete these. Whoops. I want to make sure this is the right point. So you check it by checking the elevation. Yep, 9736. That's right. Okay, plop that right on there. Okay, now go to my group. Where's my group? Yeah, 58. Select it there. Hit R for rotate. And then R was for reference. I hit RO and then R for rotate. RO for rotate, and then R for reference. I'm creating a reference angle. So I got these common points here, and I'm going to rotate them like such. And they should line up right on top of each other. Bam. Okay, so now I have that. So the only lame thing about that is I have two control points on top of each other. So now what I can probably do here, let's do something like this. Oops. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's weird. It's really weird. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to look at my points here, downloads, and I'm gonna look at what's the last point, what's my point, my control point numbers I got here, because those are really the only ones that are overwriting, because it has one right here, and one is a previous one, so the software it doesn't like two of the same point numbers. It'll force you to renumber them. So that's what's going on here. Some of these are the same numbers. So 54. Yeah, see that's the only issue with this method as well. It's kind of tricky. So we'll just have to remember. We'll kind of just have to really keep track of these duplicate things. Doesn't really matter. But when you send your field crew out, whatever, they'll pick 40 or they'll pick 52. So it's kind of not the best. Um, there's ways. There's a way to um, kind of filter that out. Actually, there really isn't, because you need those common points. Um, so there is a way I will show you that's a little cleaner. Um, so let's do it. That way you don't have to. That way you don't get those same points. That way we don't have to delete all those points. So let's see. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna go in here. I'm just gonna go create this blank drawing. Okay. I'm going to insert my points like this. Okay. So now I can see. Now I can really see which ones are rewritten. I'm sorry, which ones are old, so I don't overwrite them. So that's a new point we found. That's an old point. I don't need that one. That's a new point. Sound rebar. That's an old point. Um, that's an old point. That's a new point. That's another old point. That's a new point. Set mag and shiny. That's an old point. That's an old point as well. Okay, these are all. That's a new point. Let's see what point number that is. 13. That's an old point. 15. Let's see here. Keep those there. What's nail? DI. Joint point. Okay. These are. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then you have to delete these here. Right. You gotta delete those, because those are your points that you're gonna rotate on. So hopefully we're still gonna get some overwrites, because for whatever reason the crew, they shot this. I think they are supposed to renumber this a different point here. They tied rounds to it. Just a miscommunication. Yeah, these should be different points, but that's okay. We'll these ones we'll call different points. Okay, so I'm gonna Control C that. Bearings on topo. Here, we'll renumber those. Should only be a couple. We'll group it. And now, go back there, rotate there. Okay, and I'll rotate to this guy here. Bam. There you go. So that should check right on the money right there. And then these are the ones that are really only, I think, got with a new point. Oh, I guess not. I guess those were. Yep. So there you go. That's how you put those points from the grid and you rotate them back to the map. All right. Thanks for watching.